ESPN radio station taking advantage of the fans here. The Blue Devil trying to promote some of the Blue Devil memorabilia as well. Welcome back here to New Britain, Connecticut. Dave Strader along with Tim McCormick. You made a point at the beginning of the game. You said mark this down right after the opening
Mark
jump.
it down. Did you do it?
I marked it down. You said whoever wins the rebound battle wins the game. Well, the winner of the rebound battle in the first half has the lead at half.
Yes, in the first two battles, Central Connecticut State out-rebounded Quinnipiac by 30 rebounds. They did it again in this first half. Now, little dueling baskets for Quinnipiac. Jared Grosso, killer, 4 for 4 beyond the arc. At the other end, Central Connecticut, Damian Battles, strong to the rim. He was the high man with 13 points. And then Jeremy Bishop, an underrated athlete. Nice variety in his first half attack.
Take a look at the stats from the first half, and you talked about rebounds, and Central Connecticut with the edge, 16-12, and to break that down even further, they had 5 offensive rebounds. Quinnipiac did not have a single offensive rebound. That means extra possessions for that Central Connecticut State offense.
I'm sure right now that Coach DeSantis has to be worried. They shot 60% from the field. They played great defense, and Corsley Edwards was not a big factor, and they're down. They played about as well as they can play.
Edwards sat down with still quite a bit of time on the clock in that first half, but he's out here to start the second, but they go inside to Robinson. It is tipped up. Robinson gets it again. No good with a second effort, and it's ripped out of there by Bishop. So Jeremy Bishop with his 8th rebound. Ill-advised pass attempt there to Romano, and the quick hands of the Blue Devil defense. Here is Edwards putting it on the floor, kicks it out on the perimeter to Alexander. Being watched by Rob Monroe. Now Robinson on the wing. Edwards again. And like we saw in the first half very often, down toward 10 seconds on the shot clock, but Battle's able to hit the long 2-pointer.
Now, where would they be in this game without Battle? He's been very aggressive. He's been the one guy looking for his shot. Defensively, kind of a neat story. Coach Dickinman at the end of last year said, you know, I want to look on the internet. And he checked out teams that commit fouls, and he found that Temple, Butler, and Stanford led the nation with the fewest fouls. And he made that a big part of his attack this year. If you watch, they are one of the fewest fouling teams in all of America. They try to have less than 15 fouls per game.
Romano with a nice jump hook from about 7-8 feet away from the basket. Here is Edwards. He's been very quiet and passive offensively. Hasn't looked to really assert himself at the offensive end at all.
Well, supposedly 15 NBA scouts have come in to see Edwards this year. By no stretch of the imagination has he looked like an NBA player in this game.
Now in the corner. Long fadeaway jumper from the baseline was off the rim from Ricardo Scott, and back comes Quinnipiac the other way. Monroe handing it off to Grosso. Grosso looking for just a little bit of room to unleash that 3-ball of his that's been perfect tonight. Now Monroe, he pulls up from just inside the arc and a long 2, and the answer from Rob Monroe, the freshman out of Lanham, Maryland.
Does he remind you of Val Brown, who played at GW, George Washington last year? Very aggressive scorer. Rob Monroe is the freshman of the year in the Northeast Conference this year.
And Monroe defending against John Alexander right now. Alexander looking inside. Edwards pops out. He'll try the high-arcing left-hander that is no good. Another rebound for Bishop. He has 9. And the other way, look how quick Monroe is. Perhaps a little bit out of control. And Bishop over the back is going to pick up the foul. That's going to be his 3rd on Jeremy Bishop.
Yeah, Corsley Edwards is walking, and his reputation is if he doesn't get the ball, if he's not involved in offense, he'll loaf. At the other end, Quinnipiac, very aggressive. They're going for the offensive boards. Not a bad box out, though, by Edwards.
Well, it's going to hurt Joe DeSantis to have to put Jeremy Bishop on the bench as he picks up his 3rd foul. I don't imagine he'll sit all that long, though, Tim, with just less than 3 minutes into the second half.
Here's a zone defense, trying to close things up. We haven't seen many gimmick defenses from Quinnipiac in this game.
Ricardo Scott keeps the ball on the weave. Now kicks it out to Battles. He'll get the high screen from Robinson. Bob inside to Edwards. Kicks it right back out. Battles with the ball. Fake, lost control, and it's off the hands of Robinson and out of bounds. Fourth turnover for the Blue Devils. He took pretty good care of the basketball in the first half. Howie Dickerman not happy with that possession.
But Coach Dickerman told us at shoot-around today that his goal in this game was to have something in the 60s score-wise, and they've been able to slow this pace down.
Bullet pass inside attempted there. And Rashawn Banjo, number 55, is in the ball game.
Yeah, as Mel Kiper would say, boy, he hit him right between the numbers on that pass.
Two-point Blue Devil lead. Edwards